Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into the fascinating world of Cleopatra today.
Oh, yeah.
Cleopatra the Seventh, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom.
Last of the pharaohs.
Last of the pharaohs. We're
Last
using
of-
excerpts from a text called Cleopatra's Manipulative Alliances. Love or strategy?
It's a great one.
Yeah.
Really is.
So was she a cunning strategist or a hopeless romantic?
Or maybe both.
Right. Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
The text even talks about this legendary entrance she made to meet Mark Antony.
Oh, in Tarsus?
Yeah, picture this. A grand barge, decked out in gold, jewels,
She knew how to make an entrance.
all that, with Cleopatra presented as, like, the goddess Isis.
Yeah. A total power move, right?
Definitely sets the stage for our deep dive, right?
For sure.
So to understand her motivations, we got to get the context right.
Right.
What was Egypt like when she was in charge?
Right. So by Cleopatra's time, Egypt was...
I always picture pyramids and all that.
Yeah, it wasn't quite the superpower it once was.
Okay.
It had become what historians call a client state to the Roman Republic.
Client state.
Basically, yeah. They were still independent on paper, but they were heavily influenced by Rome, vulnerable to their power, you know.
Oh, so not really in a strong position.
Not really, no. Plus,
And she had family drama to deal with on top of that.
oh yeah, lots of that. She was forced to marry her younger brother,
What?
Ptolemy III. It was Egyptian custom at the time.
Oh, wow.
But Cleopatra, she clearly had ambitions beyond just sharing the throne.
I mean, who wouldn't? Right.
Right. A woman in a man's world
Leading a kingdom.
under the shadow of Rome.
How did she even survive, let alone thrive?
Well, that's where her alliances come in. And the first one we have to look at is her relationship with Julius Caesar.
Caesar. Okay, let's hear about their first encounter.
It's pretty wild, actually. She had herself smuggled into his quarters in Alexandria.
Smuggle.
Yeah.
Really?
Maybe rolled up in a carpet? That's the story anyway.
In a carpet.
Possibly.
That's
Talk about making an entrance?
a bold move.
Definitely.
What was she thinking?
Well, she was desperate to regain power,
Hmm.
and she saw Caesar as her best shot.
Makes sense.
And from Caesar's point of view,
Hmm.
he needed Egypt stable.
Hmm.
It was vital for Rome's grain supply, you see.
Ah, the strategic importance of grain.
Always.
So they both needed something from each other right from the start.
Absolutely, a classic alliance of convenience.
So how'd that work out for them?
Actually, pretty well. With Caesar's backing, Cleopatra defeated her brother
Oh, wow.
and secured her position as ruler of Egypt.
So they were a successful team.
They were.
But imagine the gossip back in Rome.
Oh, I'm sure it was rampant. This relationship was
Scandal.
a major scandal. And then there's Caesarion,
Caesarian.
their son, or at least Cleopatra claimed he was Caesar's.
Whoa.
Adds a whole other layer to things.
It really does. So was this true love or just strategy?
That's the million-dollar question.
Or was it?
I mean, Caesarion's birth, it could be seen as strategic,
Yeah.
solidifying her link to Rome. But it also suggests there might have been genuine affection there.
Right, right.
Hard to say for sure.
The text actually talks about how Cleopatra was an intellectual equal to Caesar.
Oh, yeah, she was brilliant.
More than just a pretty face, as they say.
That's great. She was...
It seems they had deep conversations, right?
Oh, absolutely. About philosophy, politics, all sorts of things.
So their relationship was really complex, just like Cleopatra herself.
Exactly. But we can't forget about Mark Antony.
Right. The other big name in her life?
Yeah.
How did that relationship even start?
Well, after Caesar was assassinated,
Oh, right.
Rome was in total chaos. Cleopatra, always thinking ahead,
Smart.
realized she needed a new, powerful ally.
Hmm.
And Mark Antony,
Hmm.
one of Caesar's top generals,
Oh, yeah.
he was a key player in the power struggle.
So she saw an opportunity.
She did. And she made sure to make a strong first impression.
What did she do?
This was the grand entrance I mentioned earlier.
The barge.
The barge. She sailed into Tarsus
Oh, wow.
on this incredible vessel,
Mm-hmm.
decked out in gold, jewels,
Mhm.
presenting herself as the goddess Isis.
Wow, what a statement.
It was. She knew the power of image,
Yeah.
symbolism.
She wasn't just some queen asking for help.
No.
She was like a divine ruler demanding respect.
Exactly. A power move.
Definitely knew how to play the game.
Hmm.
But beyond all the theatrics,
Mm-hmm.
what was really going on between them?
What-
Was it all just for show?
Their alliance made sense on a practical level.
Hmm.
Anthony needed resources for his military campaigns.
Mhm.
Cleopatra, controlling Egypt's wealth, could provide them.
Right.
And she needed Antony's protection,
Yeah.
especially from Octavian.
And yeah, Caesar's heir.
Right. He was a major threat.
Big power struggle going on there.
Huge.
So it was a win-win for both of them.
It was. Very strategic.
But their story,
Mm-hmm.
it's always been presented as this grand romance.
Oh, yeah.
Can we even separate fact from fiction at this point?
It's tricky.
Yeah.
They did have 3 children together, so there was definitely a personal connection there.
Right.
But while the romance is alluring, we can't forget the political realities. Both of them were ambitious, driven to secure their power.
So just like with Caesar,
Yeah.
it seems like their relationship was a mix of personal feelings and political strategy.
I think that's a fair assessment.
And that's probably what makes Cleopatra such a fascinating figure, isn't it?
It is. She defies easy categorization.
Yeah.
A real enigma.
And so far, as we've been talking, what stood out to you as a listener?
What's grabbing your attention?
What are your thoughts on Cleopatra so far?
She was dealt a tough hand, but she didn't just play the cards she was given.
Right. She made her own luck.
Yeah, she created her own game, like with how she cultivated her image.
Her image. Okay. Tell me more.
So unlike her predecessors, she really embraced Egyptian culture.
Ah, interesting.
They often distanced themselves from native customs, you see. But Cleopatra,
Yeah.
she presented herself as a traditional pharaoh.
Oh, wow. So she wasn't just trying to fit in with the Romans.
No, she was solidifying her position with the Egyptian people,
Smart move.
wearing the regalia, taking on the titles, even claiming to be the reincarnation of the goddess Isis.
So she was like a daughter of Egypt.
Exactly, not some foreign ruler, you know?
Yeah.
It really fostered a sense of national pride, unified the country under her rule.
And it wasn't just about appearances, was it?
No, not at all. She was incredibly intelligent, fluent in multiple languages.
Oh, wow. That must have been so valuable back then.
It was huge. Think about it. She could speak directly with foreign leaders, no need for translators.
Cutting out the middleman.
Exactly. Gave her a major advantage in negotiations, you see.
Yeah, it's like...
Building relationships.
Yeah.
Commanding respect.
It really challenges that stereotype, right?
Seductress image.
Yeah, she was so much more than that.
Oh, absolutely. Language was a key part of her strategy, but she also understood visuals.
Like the barge.
The barge, exactly. And the coins minted during her reign. They depicted her as both a powerful ruler and a divine figure.
So she was controlling the narrative.
She was. It was like her own PR campaign.
Projecting strength, authority.
Precise.
And it's so interesting to compare that to how Roman propaganda portrayed her.
Oh, yeah.
They painted her as manipulative.
The classic femme fatale.
Using her charm to control men.
Classics.
History is written by the victors, right?
So often, yeah. The Romans had a reason to villainize her.
Of course, she was a threat to their power.
Exactly. And sadly, that image has persisted.
Yeah.
It's overshadowed her achievements as a leader, as a strategist.
It's like we're only seeing one side of the story.
It is.
Which is why it's so important to question these historical narratives, isn't it?
Absolutely. We have to look deeper, consider multiple perspectives. And luckily, modern scholarship is doing a better job of recognizing Cleopatra's complexity.
Yeah, seeing her as the powerful woman she really was.
Right. So, thinking about these contrasting portrayals, what stands out to you?
How do they fit into the bigger picture of her story? Yeah, it makes you think how many other women in history have been misunderstood or misrepresented
Oh, absolutely. It's a real problem.
because of these biases.
Yeah, and we have to be so careful not to let that happen.
Right.
Not to let those biases color our understanding of the past.
Exactly. But luckily, like you said,
Yeah,
modern scholarship is looking at her differently now.
definitely. Moving away from that simple seductress image,
Right.
recognizing her as a complex,
Yeah.
capable leader.
Really makes you wonder,
Mhm.
like, what if
Yeah.
she'd been born in a different time?
It's a fascinating thought.
Yeah.
A different place, you know.
Would we see her differently now?
Imagine a world where intellectual capital, strategic brilliance, right? Those were the main things.
Yeah.
The currency of power. Maybe she would be hailed as this visionary leader,
Yeah.
a philosopher queen.
It's like,
Who knows what she could have achieved?
yeah, it's like she was playing a game, but the rules were written by men.
Yeah, in a world where power was all about military might,
Right.
patriarchal structures.
But even with all that, she still ruled for over 2 decades.
She did. It's remarkable.
That's amazing.
Really speaks to her resilience, right? Adaptability,
Yeah.
her sheer will to survive.
Yeah. So After all this,
Mm-hmm.
how should we remember Cleopatra?
What's her legacy?
Yeah,
I think it's multifaceted, just like her.
like we've been saying.
She's a symbol of ambition,
Mm,
power,
yeah,
even tragic romance, you know?
right.
Her story still inspires people.
Yeah.
Artists, writers, filmmakers.
It's a captivating story.
It really is.
But there's more to it than that, right?
Oh, absolutely. On a deeper level.
Yeah.
I think her story reminds us that humans are complex, motivations are complex. Love and strategy,
Yeah.
they can be intertwined,
Yeah.
and it shows the power of resilience.
Against all odds.
Even when things seem impossible.
It's like she was never giving up.
And never giving up.
Yeah. It's been an amazing journey
It has.
exploring her life, her world, and her impact.
I feel like we've learned so much.
Yeah. And to everyone listening,
Mm-hmm.
keep exploring, keep questioning.
Yeah, there's so much to discover.
Yeah, and so many amazing stories from history.
Absolutely.
Well, until next time,
But until next time.
happy diving, everyone.